Peace be with you, dear brothers and sisters, from wherever you are watching me from. Sambona, Unjani, Molo, Dumelang. So I am Brother Mugabi, and this is the Truth Preacher. Now, in this video, specifically, it's an apology, and it's going to involve the Truth Preacher, which I represent personally, and also Chris Network podcast vis-a-vis Brother Enigma. What I'm going to share might not be beneficial or might not be of interest for most of you, but I believe to a few of you, you are interested in this subject. But in the first place, it is for my own also to express myself. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 17 says, "An honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies." And I am considering myself as an honest witness who tells the truth. There are 4 things that I consider very important to me in my life, but also in the work that I do in this ministry. The first one is about truth, the truth. I am not the holiest person, like say, but I'm one person who values truth. And every single day, I try my level best to make sure that I speak the truth, that I do things in the right way. The second one is my integrity. I value my integrity. I don't know if there is anything I can add on that, but just know I value my integrity. The third one is about love. In everything I'm doing, I try to make sure that there is love, that I share love in my words, in my actions, I share love. And the fourth one is peace, that there must be peace. So I consider those 4 very important. So when I get in a situation where I find that the 4 pillars of my life are somehow disturbed or being compromised, I always have to pull back and reflect. So what I'm going to share with you, or what I'm apologizing about, is something that has happened actually, I think from last year. It has taken some months, but it only became a problem, I think a few weeks ago, or like a month or 2 months. I don't remember, you remind me. For those of you who are here for the first time, you might not remember, you might not know, but you can connect from this story. But for those of you who have been here at least from last year, you must be knowing about this story. Now, we had this time when Chris Network podcast got into issues with Pastor Mukuba. It got worse to the extent that Pastor Mukuba had to drag them to court. She opened a lawsuit against them. For those of you who know, you know all that story. It was a very touching moment for us who love Chris Network podcasts, who love the content that is aired there, but also us who love Brother Enigma. Why? It was something that touched most of us in a way that Brother Enigma was at the center of it, though it is Chris Network that was dragged to court. But remember, the defamation suit was resulting from what Brother Enigma shared on Chris Network podcast. So we had to come in with prayer. We had to come in all way possible. And it went on, as you remember, to the extent that now it got into us having to make donations to Chris Network podcast. The donations were aimed at helping them clear some dues, maybe with their lawyers or with Pastor Mukuba, whatever it is. But I came on board The reason why I came on board, one, is because I'm a fan of Chris Network podcast. Two, is because, like I always say, Chris Network podcast became like our family. Three, is because Brother Enigma was involved, and for now you all know what I've told you, why I'm concerned about Brother Enigma, and I don't need an approval from him or anybody. But also, it was a generous cause that I felt I must step in, because one of the things that I have as my assignment was that when Brother Enigma gets in a problem, I must stand for him, but in truth. So I said, maybe this is the moment that God had told me that I must come out and stand with this man. So I started rallying you people on this channel that you should come in and we donate. If you remember the story, I did some videos here calling upon you to donate. I even had to make sure that even on videos which I was discussing other topics, I must make sure that on my CTA, when I'm ending the video or somewhere in the middle, you all remember how I used to rally you, to donate and donate. So at some point, if you remember, I had to talk to Chris. You remember that saga of the 450,000 rand. I spoke to Chris. I said, but exactly how much money are we looking at? That was my concern, because I have dealt with the public for more than 20 years, leading a ministry, leading people, both in church and outside church. So I understand what it means when you involve the public in your private or personal matter. It's no longer personal matter, it becomes a public matter. So you are accountable, you must show accountability. So I said, but exactly how much are we looking at? He gave me the figure. I came and shared the figure that, you guys, you know what? If you have just been relaxing, this is the amount that we are pushing for. You remember the whole story. Anyways, after that, you remember when Chris went to Pastor Mukuba's church. When he went there, the Chris Network podcast headed by Chris himself, he denied. Because I think Pastor Mukuba was worked on by the 450,000 rand. That was something that worked on her, because you remember what the words she spoke. Chris Network podcast, Chris himself, they denied me. They denied talking to anybody, if you remember. That was okay with me. Why? Because I felt Chris Network decided to play the sacrificing your own, which is Christian. To sacrifice your own, to sacrifice what you love most for the bigger good. That is Christian now. That is the heart of Christianity. You sacrifice your own. So I said, okay, so Chris has decided to sacrifice me and others for the sake of peace, for the sake of obtaining mercy, for the sake of obtaining sympathy from Pastor Mukuba. And, I said that is okay, as long as we attain that goal, because that was my goal. So that was it. We left it at that. Even afterwards, we continued with the donations and all that. Even afterwards, at some point, like I've told you, as a leader, I hold myself accountable to the people I'm leading, especially when it involves the money finances thing. I went to Chris again. I said, but Chris, wait a minute. You see, we are dealing with the public on this issue. How much money do we have now, and how much are we remaining with to clear, such that we know and update the people that we have been journeying together on this matter? Chris told me the information. I came back here and I told you. So now, anyway, I don't know if it is Chris or anybody, but I spoke to Chris Network on their contact. You need to know, I am not affiliated to Chris Network at all. I am not. I'm just a well-wisher. I'm just a fan. So at some point, you remember Brother Enigma came. No, in my stuff when I was explaining to you, trying to rally you, there is when I came and told you guys there are people who have social media accounts both on TikTok and on Facebook, and they might rob you guys. Please make sure that you don't give money to those accounts, because Brother Enigma told us he has no social media accounts, only WhatsApp, and those are not his. And I had actually spoken to Chris, and he told me we don't know those accounts. So I came here and spoke the same. So what happened is that you remember that time when Brother Enigma, I don't know if it's a month past or 2 months past, when he came, when he was fuming about that guy, the Jesus is King channel, our brother who runs that channel, saying stop it and all that. I even did a video here about that saga. So in one of the things Brother Enigma did, he asked Chris Network podcast, the James Gander and Chris on set, do you guys know of do you have other social media like platforms that you're holding, you're running like on my name or something like? There is why he asked it, and Chris said yes on TikTok and Facebook. Guess what? I was very shocked. Now, to be honest with you, that hit me hard. It was a slap in my face. It was like like splashing cold water from the fridge on my face. I said, what? Remember, I had spoken to Chris. I asked him, I have seen these accounts on TikTok and on Facebook. They are even verified. Are they yours? Because they are also asking people for money. Chris said, no. On that day, he gave me his account number. Actually, he took a photo of the ATM card and gave me, said, no, tell people this. We don't know those accounts. So when he told Brother Enigma that yes, on TikTok, I was like, yo. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 3 says, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. I value integrity. I felt like I'm heartbroken. But more so, listen to this. I live in South Africa, but I'm not a South African. I am a foreigner. You know how most South Africans view foreigners. You know the stories that are surrounding us foreigners. Drugs, scamming, all these stories. So this is a man who is preaching the gospel, and then I'm now being involved in this. Sorry to bring back this story, but I was you can see, it still gets too emotional for me. Some of us have been building our integrity, our journey. We are moving a journey that we don't want to break bridges when we cross. We want to build them. We want to make them better when we are moving forward. In my culture, we have 2 proverbs. The first one says that it is easily forgotten by the one who said it, but it can never be forgotten by the one whom it was told to. When you say something, you can easily forget. But the one you tell that, it might last with them forever. The second proverb in my culture, back in Uganda, they say that do good to people on your way up, because you might meet them on your way down. So it is almost similar, that you must do good to people. You never know. So I felt like shattered. I felt shattered. Colossians chapter 3 verse 9, it says, do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old self with its practices. So I kept thinking about it. I kept wondering. I kept saying, what's this? I kept saying what I should do. But I said, let me first hold it back. You know, for me, before I speak, I must speak to myself satisfactorily, such that before I speak, I'm convinced about what I'm speaking about. Then I must also seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit. I am speaking today because it is today that I have felt I can speak about it. Because as you can see, maybe most likely it looks like I'm not 100% yet done with it, but I feel now I can talk about it. I do not want to be dragged in anything. Whatever I did was on good heart. Whatever I did was in good spirit. But you are the people who are here. Maybe some of you have also been questioning. But we remember the truth preacher, Brother Mugabe, was here telling us that those accounts do not belong to Chris Network. They don't know them. You might be having some questions. So in case you are one of those people who might have had issues with it, who might have been questioning, I remember when I was rallying you people to make donations. I remember some people were attacking me in the videos, in the comments. They were saying, who are you? Why are you concerned? Why should you do that? Someone asking me, what if they are taking people's money to what? People are very concerned, but that didn't move me because I was doing something that I was convinced about and I prayed about it. Now, my point here is that I felt I was betrayed 2 times. But that is something I can swallow anyways. I will deal with it for some time, but I will get over it with time. But I wanted to come here and fight for my integrity, to let you know that in case you have been here thinking about something like that or having such kind of thoughts about this matter, please just know that was my position. And everything I shared here, I always had first-hand information regarding that court case and the thing we were involved in of donations. I always had first-hand information. Whatever I didn't know, I had to ask. I am not a journalist, but I have had some trainings in journalism. At least I know what it means to report. So please, I'm sorry. I am completely sorry. I am truly sorry for you who is out there and you feel you had issues with this. I'm completely sorry. I'm not saying you stop the donations to Chris Network podcast. No, I am saying in case you had issues then of saying, but you guys, you said you don't know the Facebook and the social media accounts, and now you're saying we had you telling Brother Enigma that you know them. I am not part of anything. I don't know anything. I was also understanding what I was told then, but now I understand something different. So please don't hold me accountable to anything. I did what I did in a good heart, as a gesture of love, and that's what it is. So I'm sorry in case it rubbed you a wrong way. I know somebody's going to ask why now. I've already explained that. I had to say it now because it's when I feel somehow relieved in a position that I can speak to. I am speaking right now because you never know what can happen tomorrow. We are talking about the rapture. What if the rapture happens tomorrow morning and I'm still having this at heart? And maybe you might wonder, did you talk to Chris about this? I think it's not about talking to Chris about it because I have nothing to do with Chris. This is about me and my integrity. It's for me, not for Chris Network. It's for me. And then for you people who are on this channel. Because there is something I introduced to you, which is called the truth. And we must uphold to that. And we must uphold to those values. That the truth of the word is based on speaking the truth that is rooted in the word of God and sharing it with love and peace. That's what I stand for. That's who I am. People who know me, they have known me in that line. So, please, that's the message I had. That's what I wanted to share with you, because Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, this is the Messiah speaking. This is Yeshua speaking, or Yahushua Hamashiach, or Jesus Christ, whoever you call him. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Matthew chapter 5, verse 8. He said, blessed are the pure in the heart, for they will see God. I want my heart pure. I want my heart open, clear of anything. My mind, that's my soul. My soul, my mind, my decision making, and my emotions clear. So that's it. Otherwise, thank you everybody who is part and partial of this channel, and thank you for supporting me and supporting the work of God that I'm doing. I really appreciate. I really thank you, and I love you. But like I always say, God loves you more. And let's continue doing the work. I hope now I've made this clear. But in case you don't understand anything, please ask me in a question, in a gentle, in a loving way. Some people come and they are speaking and you're like, is it that you didn't sleep well? Is it that because you have some issues in your marriage at home? But because, for some of us, like me, I understand sometimes, and I'm like, sometimes I have to confront you such that you can wake up, because that's one of the techniques in dealing with people. You confront such that someone wakes up. But sometimes I'm like, we don't take things, no hard feelings. You just, we play it cool. Otherwise, wherever you're watching me from, I'll catch you again in my next video. Peace be with you. Shalom.